back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video because I'm finally breaking out the Magnolia Table Volume 2 cookbook. This is hands down the best cookbook I have ever owned. As soon as you open this cookbook, you see these amazing, delicious pictures, and it just makes you hungry and ready to bake or cook. The really neat part is in the beginning, she shows you different types of herbs that you can use and also how to make your own seasonings. In this video, I'm going to be making the silo cookies, which are really good. And the funny part is I actually chose this recipe because it was one of the first recipes I had turned to. But all of the desserts are amazing. I mean, just look at these pictures. So these are the ones I'll be making, the silo cookies. It is basically a chocolate chip cookie times 10. And if you see in the picture, these are really big and fluffy. They have walnuts and rolled oats in them, and the cookies that I made actually turned out very, very, very similar to the picture, and they tasted so good. For dinner, I had already meal planned for the week if you saw in my last video, so unfortunately I did not get any recipes from this cookbook, but next week I definitely will. For dinner tonight, Austin pulled out the smoker and he made us a pork loin. He is a pro with the smoker and he always makes the best food. I made a couple of sides, which I will show you in the video, and then we enjoyed some cookies afterwards. I am really excited for this Cook and Clean With Me video. I hope you love it too. Let me know down in the comments what you love about it and what recipes you want to see. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you want to get your recipe book ready. I do have this on my Instagram under the recipes highlight if you want to go screenshot it and use for yourself. Next, we want to line our cookie sheets with parchment paper. This has been a lifesaver for baking because it makes everything non-stick. Next, we're going to use 2 sticks of unsalted butter, adds up to 1 cup, and you want it to be at room temperature, but if it's not, what you can do is you can fill a glass with water, bring that to a boil in the microwave, dump out the water and stick that glass over your butter and it will start to soften it. Now we are going to add our sugars to the butter. I know you see the marshmallows in my brown sugar. Fun tip, it actually helps keep your brown sugar soft. So if you have some hard brown sugar, don't toss it. Put some marshmallows in there and then check it the next morning. I promise it will be soft. So we're using 1 cup of brown sugar and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and we're gonna add that to the butter. This calls for a stand mixer, but I only have a hand mixer right now. It works just the same. I am getting a stand mixer as a wedding gift, and that will make my baking life a lot easier. So just use whatever mixer you have. Make sure your butter and your sugar is light and fluffy. It will take about 4 minutes for it to get light and fluffy, so patience is a virtue, but it will be worth it in the end. This recipe calls for 2 large eggs, so we are going to go ahead and add that to our sugar mixture, and we're going to add them one at a time, mixing in between. Once your eggs are mixed in, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract and mix thoroughly. Now in a medium bowl, we are going to add our dry mix. So it will be 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Whenever you are getting your flour, try to overfill your measuring cup so that you can take a flat edge like a butter knife or any other type of flat edge and scrape it across your cup so you can make sure you get the perfect measurement for your flour. Now that our dry ingredients are ready, we can go ahead and add those. I like to add in about half and then mix just to make sure we're getting all of the flour mixed in and to avoid a big mess. So I'll add in half, give it a good mix, and then add in the rest and make sure that it is thoroughly mixed through, scraping the sides and the bottoms so there's no dry mix left over. Now for the goodies, we are going to add in 1.5 cup rolled oats, 1.5 cup of chocolate chips and peanut butter chips, although I only use chocolate chips because we aren't a huge fan of the peanut butter, but it does call for that. Then you will add in 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts and make sure that it's good and mixed. You can mix for about 30 seconds or a minute just to make sure everything is nice and mixed together.
Underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down.
Now it is time to add our cookie dough to the sheets to be ready to bake. So you're supposed to use a cookie scoop to get that perfect circle, but mine had actually broken. So I thought, why not use an ice cream scoop? Well, that made double the size of the cookie that I needed, but they still turned out perfectly. So you can either just use your hands to roll the cookies into a ball. If you want, you can use an ice cream scoop, but that makes really big cookies, just so you're aware. But if you have a cookie scoop, that is your best way to go to get the perfect size and shape of the cookie that you need.
Let our minds be caught up in a dream. Quiet voices in the night. Time is running out of sight. A lonely wind is passing by.
Once your cookie dough is prepared on your cookie sheets, I suggest putting them in the fridge for about 20 or 30 minutes to harden. They will turn out better that way. And then you are going to add them to your preheated oven. You will bake them for about 13 to 15 minutes, but keep an eye on them. I think mine was about 13, but whenever they start to turn brown, that's how you know they are done. While those are baking, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my cleaning, and I still had a little bit of dough left over for 2 cookie sheets, so I went ahead and prepared those, added those to the fridge so I could bake them as soon as the cookies in the oven were done.
Secret place for you and me. Let our minds be caught up in a dream. Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. There's no one left but you and me. It's It's like a made-up place that only we can see.
The cookies turned out so good, and around this time Austin was almost done smoking his pork loin, so I went ahead and got started on the sides, but I got started a little later than I planned. So the baked potatoes were gonna have to go in the microwave, which I don't love, but it was gonna do. So I'm preparing them by adding some olive oil and salt, and then I'm going to poke them with a fork just to make sure they get cooked all of the way through. Then I'm going to add them to the microwave for about 5 minutes, just keeping an eye on them. After that 5 minutes is done, I will flip them over, add them for another 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up, I will check them with the fork. If the fork goes straight through, that's how you know your potatoes are done. I also made some baked green beans, so whenever I make these, I just add some olive oil, salt and pepper, and a dash of garlic powder. Very simple, but very tasty. I cooked those at 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. That pork loin was smelling so good. I smelled it inside of the house, so I know the whole neighborhood smelled it too. So Austin got the pork loin done, the sides were done right in time, and then we got to enjoy a nice dinner outside on our back patio. It was a beautiful day. For after dinner cleaning, I make sure all of the food is put away and that Austin has lunch for the next day. And then I ended up sending almost all of the cookies with Austin to work to share with his coworkers, and they were very appreciative. So unfortunately, I did not get to keep them all to myself. So I'll just tidy up the kitchen, make sure everything is put away, make sure the dishes are done and the dishwasher is started. And then once everything is nice and dry, I'll put it away. Sometimes I let my wet dishes just air dry and I'll deal with it the next day, but sometimes I just get it done. Just kind of depends on my mood for the day. But once everything is nice and tidy and put away, I will clean off the countertops with my Mrs. Meyer's multi-surface cleaner, and I've been using the lavender scent and it smells so good. So once the kitchen is nice, tidy, and clean, I am ready to relax for the night. Thank you guys so much for watching. These silo cookies were so fun to make and they tasted amazing. I hope this inspires you to maybe bake or cook something new, or maybe find a new cookbook that you enjoy. I will link Magnolia Table Volume 1 and Volume 2 down below if you are interested. I highly suggest either getting one or both because they are amazing cookbooks. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly cleaning, cooking, and other motivation. Also, coming up, you are going to get a peek into my life and wedding planning. So definitely subscribe so you can stay tuned for that. You can also find me on Instagram. I will link it below and have my tag right here if you are interested, because I am always posting daily updates, recipes, motivation, tap to clean, a lot of things over on my Instagram if you want to find me there. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay healthy. I will see you later.